Somewhere I read, or maybe heard, that there are three omens of a true catastrophe: a screaming moose with only one antler, a pack of wild, running, one-eyed foxes, and lightning in a relatively clear weather. Strange that I didn't see any of that evening. All that time, I sat on the balcony of our family house, overlooking the orange sunset. I wish I could say the sunset was somehow special, that the sun shone differently, or set more slowly. Maybe there was some other strange details, but no, an ordinary sunset. An ordinary, beautiful sunset. I remember my mother always sat here, on this very balcony, watching me so I wouldn't go too far into the forest. And I played down below, sometimes even with friends. Yes, back then, this wasteland, there were still people living. Now there's only one farm, a house, Mr. We'll just put A, oh, and a summer house of some politician from the capital. Once there was a whole village here, and under my house someone was always walking or playing. Now only 3 houses remain inhabited, and the farm. More precisely, 2 inhabited houses. Mother died a year ago. I spent my childhood in this house, together with my parents. Even when there were far more people here, our settlement didn't even have a name. Accordingly, there was no infrastructure either, so every morning I had to go to school, which was 15 kilometers away. Damn. My father had a car, but why he always took the bus I never understood. What for? There was a car, after all. He always left 10 to 15 minutes after me and came back when I was already going to bed. In primary school, he was lucky to have 2 days off a week and even a vacation at the seaside once a year. In high school, 1 day off every 2 weeks was an extraordinary luxury for him. It's unclear what he worked so hard for, since besides this house, we had nothing else. As a child, I thought that somewhere in the forest he had hidden a treasure, and someday when I grew up, he would give me a key, a shovel, a map, and send me on a journey. I would walk a few kilometers across the field, swim across the river, maybe climb a hill or even crawl into a cave. And finally, I would find the place, dig up the treasure. And it wouldn't have been money, maybe something simpler. I would even agree to a note, in which it would be written why he worked so much. There, everything would be explained and laid out as clearly as possible, and that answer would definitely satisfy me. Those words and that journey I would remember all my life. But that never happened. Father died when I was 15. He drowned in the lake, which is now half overgrown with reeds. In his blood, they found a high dose of alcohol. Father drank only on holidays. I didn't know he was an alcoholic. Right after school, I went to the city to study surveying. Not that I had always dreamed of being a surveyor, I only learned the meaning of that word a couple of months before applying. It was just that they accepted students there for free, and the competition was very small. And besides, the words sounded interesting. Still don't know what my mother really felt when I moved out of the family house. By that time, everything was already falling apart, and almost all the houses around us had become empty. Mother stayed there, practically alone. She didn't even know how to drive a car, and the nearest shop was 2 kilometers away. She never told me a single word about whether she regretted that I left or whether she was very sad and lonely. Even when the bus came to take me to the city, she didn't cry. She smiled with the slightest tired eyes. I didn't cry either, or rather, not right away. Later. There's little I can tell about her. She was never angry, strict, sad, and in general never showed any negative emotions around me. None at all. But unlike my father, who was simply a closed off man and hardly talked to anyone or had friends, my mother was sociable, caring, and supportive, always with a gentle smile on her face. I never saw her resting, only in early childhood, when she sat on the balcony and watched me play. In the last 11 years, when she lived alone and I would sometimes visit her, she hardly changed even outwardly, only slightly grayed and had a couple of wrinkles on her face. If you don't count that, it felt like she hardly changed at all. Sometimes friends came to visit her and all that. And all that time she kept going to work. Her table was always set, and lately she had her own vegetable garden and greenhouse. She was a hard-working person. I studied surveying for 5 years, but I never worked a single day in that profession, except for university practice. For the first 2 years, I worked at the post office, after which I moved to a company that deals with furniture. Back then, it was a very small office of 20 people. Now we have entered the markets of neighboring countries. In 9 years, the company showed unprecedented growth. I was promoted very well, and finally at 28, I'll be able to take out a mortgage for an apartment in the capital. A two-room... A two... Huh? Oh god, it's going fast. Hang on. Where's the button? There's the button. Yeah, 9 years. 28, I'll finally be able to afford a mortgage for an apartment in the capital. A two-room, one with a separate kitchen. On a 25-year loan. You're gonna apply to a mortgage that has a 25-year loan? They go that long? At 53, if I'm still working, maybe I'll buy myself a house by the sea. Also on a mortgage, if anyone will ever give me one. I love the sea. My mother died a year ago, at 51, heart failure. During all this time, I had been to this house only 4 times. This is the 5th. This is the last time when I sit on the balcony, looking at the field, the forest, the sunset. Well, why not keep the house? On this very balcony for the last time. If I sell this house, I'll be able to pay off the mortgage in 15 years. Yeah, but that mortgage is on an apartment. Isn't it? Why sell the house to move into an apartment? It has a large plot of land, 2 floors, its own greenhouse. Yeah, this is way better than a goddamn apartment. So what if it's a few 100 miles outside of the city? You can drive there and back. Relatively not far from the capital. But it's not far from the capital. You can drive there. It's worth a lot of money. The day after tomorrow, the realtor will come here with the first clients. The process has already started. I mean, even if you're not gonna sell the house, couldn't you, like, rent out the house? If it was just the money that was... This house will be sold. It is no longer needed by anyone. What do I feel? What do I feel selling this house where I spent my childhood, which my parents loved so much, especially my mother? Thanks to her, it looks so good that it doesn't even need repairs to live here for a while. She always took care of it. She loved it and looked after it. But now there is no one to look after it. We no longer have any relatives. The house belongs to me, and I don't need it. By the end of the year, I will have already sold it and will be able to take out a mortgage for an apartment with 3 bedrooms in the capital. My memories will die this evening, and in the morning when I drive back to the city, they'll already be gone. I wish I could say that because it sounds so poetic. But I just got a little sad, recalled some things, almost even shed a tear. When it got completely dark, I stood up from the chair. I said goodbye to the balcony, to the view, to the forest, to the field. Tomorrow, I have to get up early, drive back, home, to the capital. I need to get some sleep. Nights in the forest is never calm. The forest makes noise, the trees make noise. The wind constantly gives it no rest. Around you, someone or something walks. Steps, you hear its breathing. Sometimes it seems to you that you catch hints of a human voice, a whisper. And it doesn't matter where you spend the night or in what conditions. While you sleep, the forest lives, sings, is afraid, hides, rustles, fights with the wind, lives. Nature never sleeps, especially when the sun goes down. All this did not apply to that spring night. I didn't fully close the balcony door. Desperate, the beginning of October, it was quite warm, which is rare for our climate. Finishing all the typical bedtime routines and pushing away a few sad thoughts, I lay down in bed. I hardly thought of anything, lay for about 5 minutes with my eyes open, looking at the moon, then at the ceiling. After that, I began to drift into sleep. The forest also stopped making noise. Or rather, I still heard something after all. Lonely night birds made themselves known with short signals. Under the balcony, quietly, probably so as not to disturb me, crickets were singing, and cicadas accompanied them. But all that was just background. Tonight, the forest was calmer than usual. That day, when I said goodbye to the family legacy, was completely ordinary. I didn't directly want it, but sometimes regret creeps in that on that day, that evening, nothing happened. At all. Going to bed, I had no feeling of anxiety or unpleasant thoughts. I was just going to sleep, as if nothing had happened. I will hardly ever return to this house again, and now I have no thoughts at all. I just want to sleep. I'm very tired. chills, trembling, scattered thoughts, heavy breathing. None of that was there that day. Not a single hint of the nightmare that would happen tomorrow. Is Mom gonna come back and haunt our ass for selling the family house? 'Cause I know I would. If I died and, like, y'all sold the family house? Nah. Didn't dream anything. I didn't hear anything strange. The night passed quietly. I woke up, and at first nothing seemed suspicious to me. It was very early morning. Without knowing the time, it was clear that I had woken up long before the alarm. The warm orange colors of early autumn were filtering into my room. I didn't really want to get up. In this bed, which I hadn't slept in for a long time, it felt truly comfortable. A soft blanket, a pillow, a mattress. It felt as if I were floating in melted butter. As it turned out, such comfort can be shattered by ordinary noise. From the kitchen, water was running. Dishes were clattering. At first, I didn't hear anything strange. That's not strange if you're alone in the goddamn house. Mom's down there doing dishes. Water was running. Dishes. Footsteps. I was alone in the house. Yeah. Maybe I imagined it. No. Mother's ghost has come back to haunt you for selling the house. I thought. No. There. The water stopped running. Someone opened a cupboard door. There's definitely someone in the house. I had never gotten out of bed so fast. I listened for a long time and very carefully. It seemed that at that moment I wasn't even breathing, so that nothing would prevent me from making out what was happening on the first floor. Was I imagining it? And although I had long since realized that no, there was someone there, I continued to check, no, to hope that all of this was happening somewhere outside or in the remnants of sleep. The clatter of dishes, cupboard doors, the water turned on again. Someone had gotten into the house. Who? We never locked the front door. It was always open, so this time I hadn't locked anything either. Anyone could have come in. They didn't need to do anything for it. Just pull the door handle. No one knew I had come, and my mother's acquaintances, who were also at the funeral, were half-hour bike ride away. Who had come home? Oh, we're gonna shoot him with the shotgun! Oh, hell yeah! Despite the surprise and slight anxiety, for some reason I remained calm, and it seemed to me that whoever was there on the first floor, I had no reason to be wary of them. Yeah, not really. I mean, it sounds like they're just doing dishes downstairs. If anything, they're doing you a favor. There was no feeling of danger. At all. But just in case, I took the shotgun that had been standing in this room, and it seemed hadn't been touched for a couple of years. A couple of cartridges lay on the table. I'd gone hunting twice, for a wild boar and for birds. I never hit anything, but I know how to hold a shotgun and how to use it. Also, once, when I was home alone with my mother, wild boars went into our yard. We hid on the second floor, at the moment when they got into the house. I held the shotgun at the ready, already prepared to shoot one of them. But apparently they didn't like it here, and they left too quickly. I had no further experience with weapons. Just in case, I still loaded the shotgun and slung it over my back. I put on my trousers and opened the door as quietly as possible. The room where I spent the night was on the second floor, right in front of the stairs. And downstairs, the kitchen immediately began. That's where I could hear so well everything that was happening there. The footsteps didn't fade. Probably whoever was downstairs hadn't heard about my presence, or maybe didn't know about it at all. The stove turned on. A few metallic clanks, and already I could hear from the sizzling of oil in the pan. They're making you breakfast! At the same time, someone turned on the water in the sink and put on the kettle. What could this mean? Someone is cooking in the kitchen and washing dishes? Exactly, somebody's doing the household chores. But why? All the tableware is covered in dust. No one has touched it for a whole year. Last night, I had dinner at a gas station. Did someone decide to tidy up the kitchen? For what purpose? On the one hand, I had forgotten about my rifle and was almost certain I wouldn't need to use it. On the other hand, I was becoming wary of the fact that I couldn't understand the motives of the person doing this. It's simple. They've been living here for a while. Maybe one of my mother's acquaintances saw my car and decided to come to make me breakfast. Either way, I need to go down and ask. From up here, I know nothing. Creak. Whoever was downstairs must have heard the creak of the stairs. I stopped and listened. There was no reaction. I gradually continued to descend. Crash. Something broke. It sounded like dishes, a plate, or a cup. Oh, it fell. A woman's high voice. There was no sense of threat in it. But why was my anxiety growing stronger? The most important thing was that I had already heard this voice. More than once. Who could it be? Could it really be one of my mother's acquaintances who saw my car? I passed all the steps and went down to the first floor. I saw her from behind. A middle-aged woman stood with a broom and dustpan, cleaning up what remained of the mug on the floor. She wore house clothes as if she hadn't gone outside. Instead of shoes, ordinary slippers. It felt like she had woken up in this house and gone to cook. But just last night I was definitely alone. To get her attention, I coughed loudly. The woman turned around. Oh, you woke up so early. Did I wake you? What? What? What is this? What is this? Try to be quiet and look at this. Can you imagine? This is simply inexplicable. Another mug broke. Can you imagine? What? How? How was this your father's favorite mug? What the fuck? What a pity. A shame. Well, do you mind pancakes for breakfast? I couldn't sleep at all. I decided to, well, make some. I haven't eaten pancakes in so long. Porridge is, of course, healthy, but. Mom. Son, are you alright? She has come back to fucking haunt us. Mom. Son, are you sure you're okay? Did you dream something? Mom. Is this because of the mug? What happened? Who the fuck are you? You mustn't speak like that. It's blasphemy, and I, of course, condemn it. But I swear by God, I swear by anything, with all my might, by everything I had and will have. Standing before me was my mother, who died a year ago, whose funeral I had attended, who lay in the coffin that I carried across the whole cemetery. Now she stood here, in front of me, doing the dishes and making pancakes. It was my mother. What are you saying? Who the fuck are you, bitch? What are you doing in my house, you creature? Son, this is also my house. This is our house. Aren't you glad to see me? You dumb sheep, what are you rambling about? Who are you? Answer. Son, come here, I will... Ugh. Don't come near me. Something started moving closer to me. In one motion, I jumped up 2 steps. Automatically, without even thinking, I grabbed the shotgun and then took it off the safety. I was ready to shoot this thing. She looked very much like my mother, but my mother had long been dead. How is this possible? Why are you so angry? I'll fucking rip your head off right now, damn it! I'm not joking. I'm not joking, bitch. I'm gonna kill you right here. Oh. We haven't seen each other for so long, and you greet me with words like that. What are you? Why do you look like my mother? Son, you're wrong. I don't just look like your mother. I am your mother. How is this even fucking possible? You tried to sell the house, so Mother came back to haunt you for selling the property. What difference does it make how it's possible if we manage to see each other after such a long separation, son? She had my mother's eyes. She had my mother's long light brown hair. She wore my mother's clothes. She had my mother's voice. She had the light, effortless, consistent smile on her face that was just like my mother had. But it wasn't her. My mother is dead. What the hell is this? It's not too late to calm down and talk everything over, son. Don't call me that. Don't ever call me that. Do you understand? Son, you... I said don't call... What is this? My nose suddenly burned. I forgot what I wanted to say. Before I could finish the sentence, I tasted a strange flavor in my mouth. What could it have been? Around my upper lip, it was slightly cold. I touched that spot. There was blood on my hand, a lot of blood. It was running from my nose, and I could already feel it on my chin. Apart from the burning in my nose, I didn't feel any other pain, but my strength suddenly left me. I stopped screaming. The shotgun fell from my hands and rolled down the stairs. It was too heavy. My God, hold a handkerchief, wipe. Don't come near me. With one hand I covered my nose, with the other I signaled to that creature not to come closer. Meanwhile, the shotgun lay right at her feet. I had neither the strength nor the time to think about it. Aggression, fear, stress, anger, all of it mixed together. I can't say it went away. It just transformed into another form. My head started to spin. Goosebumps ran over my body. I felt my legs going numb. It was hard to keep my balance, so I grabbed the railing. What's happening? A feeling like a light anesthesia washed over me, and the blood kept flowing. Look, son, I have something that can help you. Didn't I tell you to... What? Oh, no. What's this? What is she holding in her hands? But what is this? It's medicine. It will... It's a syringe. What are you gonna do with it? Your dad often had nosebleeds. We always had this medicine. Are you crazy or what? You trying to inject me with this? Look at how much blood you've already lost. If nothing is done... Just a crazy, rude creature. I'm calling the police. What are they gonna do? If it ain't human, they can't fix it. It's just one shot, son. Only one... Don't come near me. I used the last of my strength to scream. Then I turned around, holding the railing, slowly started to climb up. I forgot my phone in the room under the pillow. I needed to get there and dial the short number. My strength slowly left me, along with the blood, which was already slowly dripping from my chin into the wooden floor. What pretended to be my mother was saying something behind me, but I didn't listen at all. No thoughts about what this could be, what horror was happening, or even whether I was sane. None came to me. All my remaining strength surrendered to one goal, to open the door and call the police. But even that I couldn't manage. I had only 2 steps left to the 2nd floor when I collapsed to the ground. Thoughts of the syringe and what could happen to me if I closed my eyes wouldn't let me give up. On all fours, slower than a turtle, I climbed to the 2nd floor. All that was left was to crawl to the door. Every meter got harder and harder. Almost there, but then my last strength left me. I couldn't lift my right hand to make the final push. Sleep, weakness, powerlessness. I could do nothing more. There was no strength left to continue crawling. I lowered my hand, closed my eyes. It felt like someone was standing in the room. Second time this morning I wake up. I slowly open my eyes. I'm at home. The first thought, the smell. What a pleasant smell. How long it's been since I smelled something so nice. It's either a pie or pancakes. I haven't eaten pie or pancakes in so long, especially homemade. First 4 years of strict savings. In my first year, I lost 7 kilograms without exercise. Then a few years of cheap fast food, plus 10 kilograms without exercise. And now several years of expensive fast food. Weight unchanged. And here, homemade, tasty, hot. And birds. How good, how sweet, how loud and pleasant these birds sing. In the city, birds sing completely differently. If you can even find them there and listen. Here in nature, in the village, their talent unfolds completely. In school, my parents or an alarm never woke me. The birds always did. And now I woke up because of them. Some dream from childhood. Stop. A dream. Childhood. Home. Mom. A nightmare. Came back. I'd completely forgotten about it. This atmosphere of horror gave me a short burst of strength. I actually jumped out of bed. Where am I? This room is on the 1st floor. We usually had guests stay overnight there. So this was real. Panic seized me. I had never felt such burning in my chest. I fell off the bed, and my stomach twisted. I couldn't fight it, and I vomited. After the wave of horror washed over me, all my strength went into negative emotions. I was so exhausted that I could barely stand. For a second, black spots appeared before my eyes. I didn't quite even understand where the door was. I felt chilled. There was an unpleasant residue in my throat. I don't even have the strength to be afraid. But as soon as they return, I know for sure. The wave of horror will cover me again. I have never been this terrified in my life. Once the black spots before my eyes passed, I went to the door and left the room. Already on the threshold, I felt that I needed to sit down, otherwise I would vomit again. I went out into the hall that opened into the kitchen. Mom was sitting at the table. Mom. Uh, oh. Well, we're just gonna try to ignore it, and hopefully that works. This creature that wanted to look like my mother was sitting at the table. I was so tired that I ignored this fact and sat down next to her. I needed to catch my breath. After literally 15 steps, I was all sweaty, and there were tears in my eyes. I needed to regain my strength and only then think of a plan of action. Before that, I was powerless. Son, are you feeling better now? Did you do something to me? Oh, what are you talking about? Did you inject me with that something while I was sleeping? Maybe give me a drink? I wanted to, but you were so strongly against it that I changed my mind. Of course, I didn't believe her. While I still had my strength, I examined myself a little. My veins were clean, and there was nothing under my shirt either. Everything below the waist didn't hurt. It seemed that indeed she hadn't injected me with anything. Here, hold this. I made tea. Green, with sugar. It always helped your father. Do you really think I'm gonna drink that? Have you lost your mind? It's tasty. I made it with 3 spoons of sugar. Just how you like it. What sugar? Are you serious? I don't even want to look at it. All right. Think. But not long, or it'll get cold. So, who the hell are you anyway? I'm your mother. How can you ask such a thing? My mother died a year ago. And so what? What do you mean, and so what? How is that, and so what? Don't you see anything strange about this? I didn't like it there. You didn't like it? No, I didn't like it. I decided to come back. What the fuck? I decided to come back, son. I missed you. God, Lord, you see this is happening, God. How can this be explained at all? What laws does this obey? My mother, this woman looks exactly like her. 1-to-1 claims she returned. This is impossible. This is impossible. I baked a pie, your favorite, with apples. It'll give you more strength. Pie. A pie, so you mean to say that after I heard that you returned from there, we'll just eat pie? I didn't come back to argue, son. Of course, I love you so much that I'll accept any reaction of yours. You can argue, shout, even call me names. I haven't seen you for so long. So long we miss you there. I'm about to throw up. How are you even here all alone? How's your life in the city? Do you want me to really answer that now? I don't want precisely that. It would be very nice to talk with you, to learn what's new with you. But I want only one thing, that you be comfortable. Why am I even listening to this? Why am I here? No. Why are you still sitting here? And where else should I be? This is our house. Son, we always... What? What did she just say? This is our house, son. We. Stop. Shut up. Did you say we? Did you say we? What did you mean? Nothing. Nothing at all. You definitely said we. We're always glad to see you. Oh, Daddy's here. You are always very attentive, son. Here, there's someone else. He'll come soon. You'll see, he's afraid. Afraid? Yes, he's uncomfortable. At first he didn't want to come at all. Who else is he, woman? How many of you are here anyway? Give him a little time. You're shouting at me so much. Of course he's afraid. I feel kind of... Stop. What is this? What is this feeling? I completely forgot what I wanted to say. Why? What happened? The kitchen. I noticed something in the kitchen. What exactly? Clean dishes. The sink. Water dripping slowly from it. A little bug ran by and jumped out the window. Not far from there, a spider is weaving a web. Nothing new. What is stringing me up like this? Why does this kitchen bother me so much? This creature keeps saying it's something right in my ear. I don't hear it at all. I'm looking at the kitchen. So what do I see? The sink, the faucet, the window, the dishes, spoons, a pot,